Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our week 3 battle? Week 3 of the UPBA. We're going up against Owen, aka, I think it's Ogalbina, I want to say that's how it's pronounced. Really great guy, make sure to check out his channel, it'll be linked down below. But without further ado, let's get into the battle. There's no team builder this week because, I'll be honest, I was really busy before our battle, and I probably spent about 20 minutes, like max, on the prep. So it was kind of not very good this week. It was kind of basic, which for me is unusual. I think I usually go into much more depth with my prep, or at least try and prep well, and then I know like I've done as much as I can to prevent a loss. But this one I definitely, I prepped in, I don't know, 20 minutes one night after work, and yeah, because my week was so busy, it wasn't the best. And I think before I make too many excuses, I'm just going to go over the team that I brought. It was a choice banded Hooper Unbound with Hyperspace Fury, Throat Chop, Gunk Shot and Drain Punch. The Throat Chop was quite an interesting bring on my part because it kind of shut down his Sylveon, and Sylveon seemed like a really great switch in. But in hindsight, Choice Band with Throat Chop meant that I then couldn't actually do any damage to it, and it can just sit there and wish, protect, whatever. And yeah, it's not ideal, but Choice Band Hooper actually just runs through this man's team. Like, it does so much damage. Once I have worked out what sets he's running, any Choice Scarfers, not Choice Scarfers, any, like, a bulky Hydreigon is good against it, a Kevia Berry Sylveon will be good against it, and then his offense is obviously just kind of terrifying, and it does just kind of beat it. So it's more of a mon that I need to use to kind of put a hole in his team, but he didn't bring anything that's slower than it. So yeah, Choice Band Hooper, maybe should have been better Choice Scarf, but it is what it is. Next up we've got a max HP Keldeo with leftovers, Scald, Secret Sword, Toxic and Taunt. This was just mainly here for Suicune. I was expecting Suicune to turn up this week, but as you can see, it's not there. So Keldeo kind of has no real role to play. It's something of a switch into Aegislash, but outside of that, I mean, look at this team. It really doesn't do a whole lot else. It may threaten out the Hydreigon, and it'll probably threaten out the Diggersby, depending on if that's Choice Scarf or not. And it can actually, it can do something. It can at least do some damage. It can Toxic the Sylveon, the Hydreigon, the Decidueye. Decidueye seems a great switch into it to get a Toxic on. That would be great. But yeah, the Taunt's kind of pointless because he didn't bring Suicune. So next up we've got a kind of standard Magic Guard Clefable, and even before this battle I didn't really have a whole lot of time because I was ill that weekend, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to prep. So instead of having soft boiled on my Magic Guard Clefable, I just took the Moonlight variant that I had from last week and changed the moves. That was it. So I had Moonblast, Fire Blast, Cosmic Power and Soft Boiled, but it's not Soft Boiled, it's Moonlight. So yeah, running kind of like a mixed bulk. I really should run more defense. Looking at his team, like, I had nothing from Mega Gallade, and I ran like a mixed bulk set for some reason. Like, I should be max defense pretty much just to deal with that Gallade, because Gallade was an issue, and if you saw the Moonlight, it would actually be a weird situation where I know a Magic Guard, but he'll think I'm unaware and may not actually set up on it. So that serving is quite nice. But yeah, that's Clefable. It's kind of just here. Cosmic Power is nice. It actually does stop me from potentially getting 2-hit KO'd by Aegislash. Again, if I had gone for a more defensive set, it would guarantee not get 2-hit KO'd by Aegislash, but it's what it is. That's what happens when you don't prep properly. Next we got an Assault Vest Rotom. I think it's like the one set that I spent any time on, really. That was Volt Switch, Leaf Storm, Signal Beam and Foul Play. It kind of it baits the Sylveon in, which I can go for a Leaf Storm, and if he wants to go for a Wish and try and pass it into like his Aegislash or his Mega Gallade or his Diggersby, then Foul Play will actually OHKO, I think, all three of them. I could be wrong. Like, if he's in Shield form, it doesn't OHKO Aegislash, obviously, but it will do a good chunk, and even at -2 it will still do enough damage. So -2, I don't think it gets affected by well, it does get affected by King Shield, but my attack actually doesn't get affected, if that makes sense. So yeah, this set is also quite a nice check to Hydreigon. I didn't have a whole lot for it, and it's also another like reasonable check to Decidueye. Trying to go Oceana's team, obviously Suicune was completely walled by this, unless it was like a sub-toxic set, which he could absolutely have brought, but he didn't bring it at all. Next up we got Heatran with Fire EMZ, Fire Blast, Flash Cannon, Solar Beam and Sunny Day. This is kind of my late game sweeper. If he doesn't bring a Scarf Hydreigon, then he doesn't have a whole lot to stop it. I didn't actually expect Diggersby to turn up, but I don't know why I didn't expect Diggersby to turn up, because it actually is just, it nearly always has a good matchup, and against me who has like very little defensive mons, it has a fantastic matchup. All it needs is U-turn, Ice Punch and Dual Stab. But I don't think this Heatran actually outspeeds a Scarf variant because it's modest, so I need to check for Scarf Diggersby and I need to check for Scarf Hydreigon. If I don't see Scarf on either of those, actually, like, Heatran can really do a lot in this game. Gotta always check for Hidden Power Ground on Sylveon. If it's like a Specs variant, that might actually be better, because I can Flash Cannon on the switch in, and I can Flash Cannon again, that should actually kill. But if he is running like a bulky set, then I could be in for a bit of trouble, because I can't actually break it. Hydreigon as well, I need quite a reasonable amount of chip before I can actually take it down. Like, it needs to be below half for me to be able to kill a Flash Cannon. And yeah, other than that, his team does kind of just lose to it, which is quite nice. And lastly, I went between two sets of Gligar, and I ended up going with an Eviolite, Toxic, Earthquake, Roost, Defog. Very, very standard. More specially defensive than defensive. To be able to, because it kind of checks Aegislash anyway, unless it has in Power Ice, and I just wanted that check to AG. But looking at this team now, I have nothing that outspeeds a Mega Gallade, and I have 6 mons that lose to Mega Gallade. So I think you can probably tell where this battle is going to go. The other Gligar I was going to run was actually like a check, and I, like, at the last minute I thought about it, and I was like, oh, actually, like a Yachi Berry Acrobatic set would Oko Mega Gallade, and that is the biggest issue on his team gone. But for whatever reason I was like, you know what, that's dumb. If he runs Zen Headbutt, I think 2 Zen Headbutts does enough, but after rocks it kills me, so I end up playing, going with the wrong Gligar pretty much, because the Archivary Acrobatic set would have been great bait for it, but we'll get into the battle. I think you can probably already tell this isn't going to go particularly well, because Mega Gallade is a huge threat, and if Mega Gallade is not being checked at all, then yeah, I pretty much lose. I have nothing to actually kill it, outside of him misplaying, pretty much. And of course, he is going to decide to lead with it. Perfectly fine. I'd lead with Keldeo, because Keldeo is like the most expendable member of my team, but at the same time I don't want to just give it up for free. So yeah, I switch out into my Clefable. This is where having more defensive investment would actually be really nice, because I would be able to switch into Clefable for absolute free and be able to kind of check this really nicely. But you're going to see the Headbutt does a very good chunk of damage. It does almost half, so I get 3-hit KO'd by it. And in hindsight, had I checked the calcs and made sure that I didn't get 3-hit KO'd by as a Headbutt, then I'd be in a great place. Here he goes out into his Aegislash, and I predict this, and I go straight out into my Gligar. It seems like every time Clefable comes out, Aegislash is a safe switch, because unless I want to predict and go for the Fire Blast, then yeah, he's in a really good position. See, now here is where it would be fantastic to have the Archieberry set, because I know that him going out into his Gallade here is 100% it's got Ice Punch, but like, I was looking at the calcs and I didn't think my Clefable could live an Ice Punch into a Zen Headbutt. I certainly couldn't live Ice Punch into Poison Jab, and I kind of felt like Clefable was more necessary than Gligar. And even looking back at it now, I don't think that's the case. I think Gligar is actually like the better option. So yeah, already I made a good play, good prediction, and then I made a bad play, like immediately straight after. I knew he was going for the Zen Headbutt here, so I couldn't really switch anything other than Hooper into it. Maybe should have switched Hooper in, because at least like pressured him offensively, because he didn't know my set, he didn't know I was banded until I actually threw off a move, and he may have been scared out. But I got into my Clefable. again, every time this comes out, then well, he actually has two pretty good switch-ins. He has Clefable, he has Sylveon and Aegislash, and here I'm just playing passively. I had to be more aggressive. My team was just not allowing me to be aggressive, I think, is the main thing. Yeah, I can't beat this Sylveon 1-1 if I was Cosmic Power and Calm Mind or something like that. Then, sorry, if it's Calm Mind over Cosmic Power, then I would be able to take on the Sylveon, but at the same time I wouldn't be able to take a hit particularly well from the Aegislash. So, yeah, I don't know. The Sylveon was a big issue in prep, and I didn't really have anything for it. Looking at the matchup, maybe I should have brought Crobat as well, but Sylveon gets just the right coverage to be able to hit Heatran and Crobat, which is really annoying, and so I couldn't really do much here. I'm just going to pause for a second. So you saw those plays, I was just rambling on about things. Yeah, I go for the Leaf Storm as he goes for the Wish, and here I was really trying to bait out the switch. I was hoping he would go out into his Mega Glade. He's cured the poison, and like Mega Glade 100%, absolutely 100%, unless it's a crit, lives the Leaf Storm or the Volt Switch, whatever I would go for, it would live it on the next turn. And so I thought he was almost guaranteed to go out into it. So I go for the Foul Play, hoping to take down that Mega Glade, because it's kind of my last hope at this point. We're already like 5 turns into the battle, but it's already like my last hope. So yeah, I go for Foul Play. Unfortunately, he stays in and just Hyper Voices. We're AV, so that still does a good chunk of damage, but it doesn't do anywhere near as much as it should do. But at this point, I'm again on the back foot. I had to play aggressive there. I had to try and get the Mega Glade or the Aegislash or whatever on the Switch, because there's nothing else other than this on his team that wants to take a Foul Play, which is quite nice. Like Hydreigon, it'll be able to take it just fine because it's resisted, but it'll still take a good chunk. But I have no real way of dealing with this Sylveon. I don't know why he switched it. I honestly don't. I think he's seen most of my set, and he may not have seen Calm Mind actually at this point. So after the Cosmic Power, I think it's fairly obvious that I don't have Calm Mind as well, because why would I run Calm Mind and Cosmic Power? But yeah, I do take this Iron Head actually really well. It's fantastic actually. In that, I mean, it doesn't 2-hit KO after leftovers, but it's still a roll, and I get off a big Fire Blast. It's done a ton of damage. It was necessary. Like this Aegislash is a problem if I don't try and whittle it down, but yeah, I'm still on the back foot. Like I can take another Iron Head, but I still want to keep this thing around for his Mega Glade. So I go out into my Keldeo, which is something of a soft check, I guess, to Aegislash at this point. It's kind of pointless having it around for anything other than that. If I can Scald Burn it, that'd be fantastic. But unfortunately, he is getting quite a lot of health back with recovery. He can go for the King Shield here if he wanted to and just get more recovery. But instead he decides to go out into his Sylveon. Again, this thing is a pain in my ass. Like, it's so annoying. I could have taunted here, but I didn't really see any reason to try and go for a taunt in front of the Sylveon. Like, it's just going to OHKO me with Hyper Voice. And at least I have, like, it can somewhat check something. It can somewhat check the Aegislash at this point. And here I go out into my Heatran, knowing that he's probably not going to go for the Hidden Power. He's going to go for Hyper Voice, and he makes the switch out into Hydreigon. So he obviously knew I wasn't going to go for a Secret Sword on his Sylveon. So it's fair play on his part, and here I'm just going to try and check, see if he's got the Earth Power or not, but he just predicts me to switch out and goes for the U-turn, which does a ton of damage, puts me in range of pretty much everything on his team at this point. And he goes out to the Mega Glade, and again, Mega Glade is just going to get a kill. Like, I can't switch out at this point because Clefable is going to get 2-hit KO'd, and yeah, unfortunately, the close combat is just going to take down my Rotom. It really didn't do any of the jobs that I wanted it to this week, which is unfortunate. But now I get a chance to go out into my Hooper, And if this Gallade was not such a massive threat, I would have predicted his switch into Hydreigon and gone for the Drone Punch, but that thing was far too much of a threat. I couldn't afford to get that play wrong, because Drone Punch definitely did not do enough damage from that range. And the Hyperspace Fury is going to do actually a pretty good amount to the Hydreigon. And a Banded Hooper doing some damage. But again, U-turn, it seems really obvious, and he's going to get all the momentum again. Because Hooper, unfortunately, as good a mon as it is, like it's so offensively powerful. So many things get U-turn, and it just it loses momentum so easily, unless I have a good all-round check to something on his team. And so here he goes out into his Decidueye. That's I was expecting this thing to come out at some point. I was 50-50 whether or not I should go for the Toxic here, and just if I was playing aggressively, I would have gone for the Toxic, because it's kind of obvious I'm going to switch. And yet again, he gets more momentum. Actually puts my Clefable in range of an Iron Head now, so he is very free to go back out into the Aegislash. I think I'm still in range even after leftovers, and if he wants, he can go for a King Shield here. And I think it's a roll whether or not Fire Blast will kill from this range. I'm fairly sure it would, but I don't want to risk it. I can still go out into my Keldeo, and unfortunately he's going to actually predict it, I believe, this turn and go for the Shadow Claw. So had I actually stayed in, I'd been in a much better place. Yeah, I've had this Aegislash dead, and at least differential will be coming down a little bit. Small silver linings I'm looking for at this point. But yeah, Keldeo is now in, and I want to go for the Toxic here. I don't remember if I do or not. He goes back out into a Sylveon yet again. I think I'll just go for the Scald. I see that as a no drawback play. However, Toxic probably would have been better. But at the same time, I've already taken enough damage. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Literally, Toxic would have been better 100% of the time. So I just played this one badly so far. And yeah, he's going to go straight back out into that Sylveon that's causing me so many issues. And now he gets a Wish. And this is a problem, because if he goes out to Aegislash, then that Wish is going to put him back up to full, and I can't then do any damage to him. If he goes out into his Gallade, that goes back up to full, so I need to make a 50-50, and in the end I just switch out. So I felt like this was kind of the best play. If he the only way this is a bad play is he goes out to make Gallade, but I don't think he was going to go out and to make Gallade in front of my Clefable. So here is where I really should have just set up. I was in a pretty good position. I should have gone, I go for the Flash Cannon here, which is a good middle ground play. It's a fairly safe play at this point, because nothing he wants to switch in is going to appreciate it. But it still lives, and I know that he's probably going to be quicker, so he's just going to boost up. So I'm going to go out into my Clefable. Whatever he wants to do, Earth Power as well would have been fine. I took 2, I believe, from a non-offensive Hydreigon, and judging off of just how much damage I was doing, I was fairly sure it wasn't offensive. And here I was no way he stays in. This is the one thing that's stopping my Heatran from sweeping. So no way he switches in. He stays in, and he just stays in. And if I had Moonblast there, it would have just killed. Moonblast into Fire Blast also killed his Aegislash, so I honestly don't know why he made that play. Not to mention, I think if I was soft-boiled, then he doesn't make that play. If he's seen soft-boiled over Moonlight, in fact, has he even seen Moonlight at this point? Yeah, he has, yeah he has. Then I don't think he goes for that play, because he thinks that I'm unaware at this point, and not Magic Guard, but I am Magic Guard. So that's where my own kind of laziness in genning, and then I guess some kind of mind games kind of goes back on me. It really just it didn't work out at all. And yet again, he is able to get his Mega Gallade back in once again pretty much for free, and it's going to pick up another KO. I have no switch-ins to a Zen Headbutt or a Close Combat, so you could go for either at that point and it would kill my Keldeo. So I couldn't switch into my Hooper, on the off chance that he went for the the close combat instead. And here I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast, I think, predicting... I may just go... No, just go for the Moonlight. Again, I'm still just playing passively. I'm way behind in this game, but I'm still playing passively. I don't understand what I'm doing. So, once you get behind, you have to start making plays. You have to start being more aggressive. Because at this point, I'm about to be 6-0'd. I don't think I've killed anything on his team. It doesn't look like I'm going to kill anything on his team. And yeah, he goes for the Iron Head, which does a ton of damage. Absolute ton of damage, and he gets to flinch. So I think from the range he was at, it was a roll to KO with Fire Blast. I think it was a good roll in my favour to KO. And I've been in a better position. Granny still comes in and gets killed Gallade, and Gallade just kind of sweeps up at that point. But here I have no reason to keep my Clefable around anymore. So expecting him to maybe want to predict my Heatran coming in or something like that, or just making a middle ground play in general. I decided to stay in and go for the Fire Blast again, because he's still in range actually to be taken out, and unfortunately we miss. And like, if it wasn't bad enough that we had bad prep, we played badly, we also get flinched and then miss, but I can't be mad. Like, Iron Head has a 30% chance to flinch. Fire Blast has a 20% chance to miss. It is what it is. That's just the game we play. But it kind of sucks because now it's looking more and more like a 6-0. So at this point, I just need to try and get some differential points back, pretty much. And this is actually huge. Where that Hydreigon, had I just clicked Moonblast on it, again, like because I was playing badly, I didn't just click Moonblast, seeing that was the one threat or the one thing that really stopped my Heatran from kind of going in. So yeah, we're going to go for the Z Sunny Day. I know it. This H/slash can't KO move anything, and yeah, we're in a pretty decent place. Like, that Secret Sword doesn't do too much damage, and as long as I hit a Fire Blast, this thing is dead. If he wants to switch into anything else, it pretty much dies to 2 hits. Like, the optimal way this plays out is that he goes out into his Hydra at this point, and yeah, he just gets 2 KO by a Fire Blast and into Flash Cannon. However, unfortunately going for King Shield, just wasting a turn on my son, which is good play on his part. He hadn't actually shown King Shield at this point, he had no reason to. And he just ends up sacking off this H/slash. It can't live a Fire Blast in the sun from Modest. So we're at least going to get a kill. This is huge. We're going to lower our differential at least by 1. And then he goes out into his Hydreigon. I know at this point I just need to get damage off. Fire Blast does as much damage as Flash Cannon, and it does catch any other switches that he wants to make. And well, just a little bit less than Flash Cannon actually. I guess I just had to kind of bank on a crit there, which kind of seemed unlikely to happen. And now it's just Hooper versus the world, and in hindsight, Throat Chop was the play here. Like, judging off how much that Hyperspace Fury did, it didn't really matter what he went into. Like, it was a case of I was hoping to just pick up a kill, and I thought a Sylveon was probably going to be his switch, because it took the Hyperspace just fine. And Hyperspace did the most damage, and unfortunately we're going to miss the Gunk Shot. So I don't know whether that was a kill or not. I don't think it was on the Decidueye, and that's going to be a game. We lose 5-0, and I'm really not surprised. I'm really not surprised at all. Our prep was bad. We played bad. Yeah, there was not a lot of good in that game, but good game to Owen. He really just played that exactly how he had to play it. Staying in with Hydreigon was a ballsy play, but in the end I think that actually kind of won him the game, because there was a chance this Heatran actually just came back and won the game. I don't know what set his Diggersby was, it never hit the field, so if he was Scarf Diggersby, at no point did I win that game, but if he was Banded or something, there's actually a chance that I won it if I take it down Hydreigon at that point. But yeah, good game again to Owen. We go down to 1-2, and I think I'm -8, which is the awful differential. It's so bad. Like, we're going to have to really kind of claw it back. It's not a good start to the season, but then I very rarely start well to a season. I usually go 1-3 and then start winning some games. So expect another loss next week against JB and his Arkansas Razor Winds. I think we just played him in APA Little Cup. So we're going JB twice in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then we also face Jack twice in 2 weeks, because APA Little Cup will be going up as the next video. So yeah, good game again to Owen, really great guy, go and check him out. And yeah, I will see you next week where of course we face JB. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video for whatever reason, this was just a terrible display, but please do leave a like, the support is greatly appreciated. And without rambling on too much, I will end the video here. Have a great day, guys.